Hi. Hi.
Wait for it.
What happened? Hi,
Hey.
I'm Brandon. I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Definitely don't need any time
Dan and
off.
friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hello, everybody.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my gosh.
Man,
It's the last Hallmark Christmas movie before Christmas
Yeah.
that we're reviewing.
Yeah.
this is it that we're reviewing before Christmas.
Before
Yes,
Christmas.
of course.
All right, Bethlehem aired last night, but we won't get to it after Christmas. There's nothing we can do.
Nothing we
There's
can do. Hands are tied.
Hands are tied. Guys, all your shopping done? Feeling good?
Feeling great.
Feeling good?
Great about it.
Are you
Yeah.
going up to Mass at all?
Yeah.
So you
Small
go
trip.
up and then you come right back?
Yeah, you're gonna
for
shoot right
Bethlehem?
back.
Yeah.
Back. Be back in time. Don't you worry. I wouldn't.
I
miss
won't
it.
worry.
Yeah.
I
Producer
wouldn't.
Aaron doing the same thing.
I wouldn't worry
Quick
about
pop
that.
up there.
It's a quick.
48 hours.
That's all I
quick-
need.
How
That's all I
about
need.
let's give it up for Brian's national TV debut on Good Morning
you.
America
Oh, yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
C+, man. Really good job.
That's better than I was hoping.
How did
for.
it make you feel?
I felt like a big shot.
Do you feel like that guy, Chris Russell's character, where you now realize you don't like people talking about you on social media?
Right, yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah,
try to
got you out of
back,
your
trying to
comfort
back
zone.
it off a little bit
Yeah.
here. I hope nobody actually catches it.
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
very
that'd be a
uncomfortable.
shame for people to see it.
See it and maybe listen to the podcast.
Good to be back out there, though, and by out there I mean via the Zoom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. Dan, you are you going anywhere for Christmas?
No. Well, I mean, I'm going to run down to Columbia.
Yeah.
See the folks.
Running now.
Columbia's
Yeah.
the worst. Am I right?
It's okay. It's all right.
Rank your top 5 favorite cities in South Carolina.
In South Carolina,
Yeah.
Greenville's one. Duh. This
Number
is
one?
living.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
Greenville.
This
It's number
is.
one. Yeah.
What's number 2?
There's only,
Your hometown.
Greenville, Columbia, and Charleston are all going to be in the top 3. I think that's pretty easy. After that, it gets tough, Brand, because now you're looking at a lot smaller cities that, have something to offer for some, but not a lot for all. I'm going to go with those 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
out of
good
5
for
ain't
you.
bad.
3 out of
Yes.
5 not bad.
Not bad.
Absolutely. You had the opportunity to name Myrtle, and you said no.
Hilton Head.
Hey, there you
or
go.
maybe Polly's Island.
Okay, that's good.
let's go.
Those are
two.
good.
The beaches, yeah. We got Greenville, Columbia, Charleston, and Hilton Head, Polly's Island.
I would throw can you put like a Traveler's Rest on there? Is
I
that
would
too
never-
close
that
to?
would make my top
could.
20.
I like Traveler's Rest. You got the
Cool.
mountain views. You got some crypts.
Crepes? Is that what you're
Crepes.
talking about? Yeah.
Crepes. The
Into
food?
the crypts.
We're not talking about crepes. Crepes.
We're not talking
might
about
be.
crypts at all.
No, none.
Not on this podcast.
No,
All right. Well.
Ryan's gang podcast is coming up later.
It's the TR
Oh, is that?
gangs.
That's a gang.
Yes. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
It's a no for TR for me, though. But if you're listening in TR, then congratulations.
It's probably good for you.
Good for you.
Really, you can't go wrong with Greenville, though. It's magical. It's magical this time of year. It really shines.
isn't it?
You been downtown lately? Went to the Festival of Trees. Love that.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you take your kids to, and you think they're going to think this is neat. They don't. They're just kind of like running around, being
Yeah.
like, "Oh, look at that elevator."
Yeah.
So it's
hotel.
Yeah, it's a hotel.
But you can start there at the Hyatt and do that, and then you can walk down Main and
Yeah.
get to ice skating.
Uh-huh.
And you can just have
That's
a
just
day.
a day. That's just a fun day.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
That's just a fun
Camper
day.
down. Take that
Yeah.
little loop
Camper
around.
down.
Right?
I've never heard it called camper down.
Camper down, down.
Camper down.
Camper down.
You guys ready to talk about Friends and Family Christmas?
Yep.
I would love to.
It originally aired December
Could we?
17th, 2023, and it went a little something like this. We meet Danny, who is a photographer in New York City. Danny is real busy and calls her parents and lets her know that she's not going to be able to come home for Christmas. Working hard at the old art studio.
That's right.
Sure. The lab.
They're bummed, but they ask her for a favor. Dad has a colleague who has a daughter that recently moved to the city or went through a breakup, is in need of a friend. I know you're busy, but do you mind? Do you mind kind of maybe hanging out? And she's like, okay, I guess so. We then meet said sad sack, Amelia. She's a lawyer who works at her dad's firm. Dad tells her that she has to come to the company Christmas party and she has to bring a date. So she decides to text Danny and ask to go get coffee to meet. Although she feels like she's just really doing her dad a favor at this point. Danny's very busy at work, and so is Amelia. But they make time to go out for the world's most awkward cup of coffee. They, I think it's safe to say, after this meeting, are not compatible, especially when it comes to their stars. Am I right, Dan?
Oh my gosh!
You kidding me?
Between the moons and the Libras, it's ridiculous.
Get
out
of
there.
here! It's
Scorpio Libra with Cancer moon. Right? So you think you could? You think you with a Scorpio, a Libra?
I was like,
run
run the credits now!
At the end,
Save us the time. Danny's parents surprise her by showing up in New York City, and they're going to stay in a nearby Airbnb, despite the fact that Danny told them she does not have time to hang out with them. Amelia's dad asks how the date went, and she's like, it was great. She's the best. Liar. She finds gloves and texts Danny to see if they're hers. They are. They agree to meet up again to, glove. They do, and Danny's parents are also there, and they're like, oh, is that Amelia? Danny's like, what's up with you guys? Why are you being so weird? And Amelia's like, can I talk to you over here? And she pulls Danny aside and says, so I may have told my dad that the date was amazing despite our moons, and he bought it. And
what?
Check
Give
the
us
story.
whatever.
And he thinks that we're dating. So I think my dad told your dad, and now they think that we're a thing. And Danny is like, you know what? Actually, kind of a win-win because, maybe you can help me by entertaining my parents, and I can help you by going to your Christmas party as the plus one. It's a fake relationship. We love it. They start by going to get a Christmas tree together, and Danny's parents are actually very excited. They're having fun together, and you don't see it coming with those moons. Danny then calls Amelia for help transporting a giant stuffed bear. Don't ask. They go to a karaoke party, but when Amelia hears that one of Danny's coworkers knew her ex and that her ex moved across the country, she's, as the kids say, shook.
That's what the kids say.
And she leaves before karaoke. But after meeting
By the
up,
time this comes out,
I heard a kid
Such
say
a
that.
Capricorn.
I heard a kid say that. But after Danny meets up, yeah. But after meeting up and talking
shook.
some more, she goes to another event for Danny, the annual dance/lantern decorating party. It's time for the Christmas party that Danny has to join Amelia at, and they realize that they're actually enjoying each other's company, but this is coming to the end of their deal, their arrangement. They thank each other for helping each other out of the funk that they were in, and then they go their own way. But that doesn't stop Amelia from showing up at Danny's big silent auction. Danny is thrilled and goes on stage and gives a half speech, half magic act. Yep. After the show, she is offered a big art travel grant that is going to allow her to go and travel the world and take photos. Amelia hears it first about the grant from my least favorite character in the history of the world. And when she says goodbye to Danny, she's like, this is goodbye for good. And she's like crying, and Danny's like, oh my, wow, okay, I guess I thought maybe we could continue this, but no. Danny tells her parents the truth about the fake relationship, and they're actually super chill about the same thing. Honestly, they're just happy to be having a conversation with their daughter at this point. It's Christmas morning, and Amelia tells her dad that she doesn't want to be partner. Rather, she wants to start a branch that only helps artists with their legal troubles. He's pumped. Danny realizes that she doesn't want things to end with Amelia and figures out why she left last night in a hurry. And so she comes up with a plan. She sets up the big stuffed bear, don't ask, and photos of her that she has taken in the park along her typical running routes. She does run that route. She sees the bear. She sees the pictures. She is shook. Danny then, was that good?
Say that.
Danny then shows up and is like, hey, I don't want this to end. And if I do travel, when I do travel, I'd like to come home to you, or maybe you can come with me. And also this picture right here, I just realized that I took this picture 2 years ago of you. My first time taking pictures in the park. I just did that. I can't believe it. It's you.
Yes.
And the universe, the moons,
The stars?
would always, every time, bring us together. They kiss in the
According
park,
to what I'm seeing.
and they have Christmas dinner together with their families. And that, my friends, was a Friends and Family Christmas.
We did it.
We did do it. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll break this movie down with 4 segments here on Deck the Hallmark. Welcome back, everybody. It's great to be here in the house of the pod, talking about a Friends and Family Christmas. Let's break it down with 4 segments. Let's start with the hot take, and I will start with you, Brian. Brian, what'd you think of a Friends and Family Christmas?
Thanks, bro. I thought it was pretty good overall. I like the setup where they both had legitimate reasons for needing each other at that point, and it worked out well for them. I was pretty stressed out by Daniela and her whole life and everything she had going on. I thought it was
Just everything that was her.
Everything felt like an emergency, and everything was on her shoulders, and it's just like not what I'm looking for at the holiday time. Like I have enough of that in my life. Like I don't need her stress too. I wasn't really clear on a few things, like why are we doing all these artist events? Like what? Like can't we do one?
Yep.
Like do one big night?
Yep.
Why are we doing? It's like nonstop with these events, and everything seemed like it was for a different event. The mom was reading the novel, like why? For no reason. Like that didn't go anywhere. And from your, like you said, Brandon, the worst character, like the worst thing somebody can do is just like, oh, will you read my manuscript? Or like, I have this thing that is really personal that I'm working out. Can you look at it and give me all this feedback? Like we wouldn't do anything like that.
We
like,
would
we're trying to
never.
work out like a script.
No.
And I just wasn't clear on like how she'll be representing artists. Like when they steal from other artists or like get kicked out of their apartment. Like I don't know. There's a lot of like strands left, and I was like, all right, I don't care too much about what happens with them all, but qualitatively, fine. They did a good job making this movie, and the characters were okay, except for a choice few. But yeah, it was okay. Brand?
Yeah, just okay for me as well. I obviously great for Hallmark to continue to broaden with inclusivity and diversity. We love it. Good for them. But the movie as a whole was just kind of an okay. A fake relationship story, which typically is a trope that we love. This one was like just an okay utilization of that, I feel like. And yeah, a couple of things, like her parents just showing up when she says that she's busy, and then them getting mad that she's not making time for them is just like annoying. Like she was trying to be an adult here and be like, hey, I'm looking like, should she make time for her family at Christmas time?
Of course.
Well, yeah.
But
if she calls and she says, I got all these events that I'm planning and I got people bailing left and right, I can't make it home for Christmas. You can't then be mad when you show up and it feels like she's not around. Like, I feel like the heads up was given. And then just like the whole of finding out from someone else, the big news of travel, and then that being the thing that makes the whole world fall apart. Many tropes within the trope that we've seen before and just kind of utilized okay. But overall, like I like the two leads, and I thought that it was great to see that represented on camera, but just an okay for me.
Yeah, on paper, this movie's like a knockout.
Yeah.
New York City, fake relationship, Ali Liebert, Humberly Gonzalez, and unfortunately on screen, it just doesn't work nearly as well as I would have hoped that it would. And the main reason, there are two for me. The two main reasons this doesn't work very well is, one, they take all the fun out of the fake relationship trope. Like, the fun of the fake relationship is being in a situation where you're caught in this lie and you've got to make up some absurd thing on the fly with the help of this partner that's also trying to be in a fake relationship, and that's how you fall in love. They don't ever do that. They just play it right down the middle. They just play it serious and straightforward, and it loses a lot. Second of all, Ali Liebert, whom I like love, and she's underused in these movies, is like maybe my favorite quirky, out of the box, adventurous, like keep you on your toes character actor on the network. Go look at her work all the way as far back as Love at the Thanksgiving Day Parade. She does that so very well. And so to make her the buttoned up, straight-laced, serious type to Amberly Gonzalez is more like adventurous, free spirit, that didn't work for me as well as allowing her to really stretch her acting chops and be more of the character that I think she plays so well. And so it took a lot of the fun, I think, spontaneous humor out of it. I'm happy for the historic nature of this film, but the things that I thought were surefire winners going to work in this movie kind of fell in their face. And so very disappointing, unfortunately. I like the two leads, but disappointing for sure.
And again, I don't want to keep beating a dead cow. Horse? Horse. But they go to all this trouble of telling us their signs. And it's just like, we know that it would never work.
Yeah.
And
I don't know how else to tell you this.
When you go out of your way,
Libra and Scorpio,
I'm like, roll the credits.
Who do you think you are? Tropic of Capricorn?
This is exactly so ridiculous.
Just unbelievable.
One of the most unbelievable things.
We can skip the Wait
season.
What segment. Scorpio, Libra.
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
You should be embarrassed.
Stupid.
It's time for all the feels. That's what we're talking about. What in this movie gave us those feels. Bry Guy.
Yeah, a little controversy, I guess, going along with this because her parents did kind of whine a little bit and cause a stink. But I thought it was cool of them to show up. Like,
oh my gosh,
I thought it was great that they said
you're done. Shut his mic down.
That they come. She can't leave for the holidays.
This is Brian's dream.
This is Brian
for
wants
his kids to move far away, and then he just show up without being invited.
When and how he sees them.
You get to go visit them around the holidays.
Even if they say they're busy,
yes,
I'm coming to Australia.
Still go be with
What's
them.
the point of you
100%.
living there if I don't get to come?
This is
you get
the
to
worst
go be with.
feels.
No, it's not.
It's the worst
no,
feels.
she says she's too busy.
I'm invalidating
they
your
could have
feels.
gone anywhere in the world. They could have stayed
Your
home.
feels are not validated here.
My feelings matter.
Not right now. They don't.
I'm a Capricorn. My feelings are real.
They're not.
So they
Not
say
these.
we can do anything in the world for Christmas. Let's go be with our daughter. Even though she's busy, we're still going to show up. And they still get to see her, and they get to spend time with Amelia, which is great.
And they get to guilt her about not spending time with them.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done that very much. Like one time as a joke, maybe two. But
Lisa, that's a great question, Brian. Were you invited to come back to Massachusetts, or are you just showing up?
I just show up
for the holiday season.
Nobody needs to ask to come to Massachusetts. They're begging people to come back to Massachusetts.
No.
People are leaving in droves for a podcast in Greenville, South
That's right.
Carolina.
They sure are. They sure
So
are.
I thought it was great that her parents did that. They didn't have to. They could have gone anywhere. Nobody agrees. Whatever. Okay. Anyway, Bran, what are your great feels?
A great utilization of technology with taking the pictures
that
and
was
them
cool.
showing up on the screen.
That's a good one.
It hit a little bit. I don't know. I was too busy laughing at the fact that she went like this and streamers went everywhere like she's like a magician at a 10-year-old birthday party. But once they started showing up, I'm like, yeah, I like that a lot. So kudos. Very cool. Danny?
Danny boy?
I didn't want the parents to show up, but when they're there, they make something called ponche crema.
Yeah.
And apparently it's like a Venezuelan eggnog. And I was looking it up. And it looks delicious. Yeah. And it made me want
Dan's like an eggnog addict now.
So it's easier to make than regular eggnog.
Dan's over there every day, like just itching. So anyone got any nog? Any variation from any place?
Just give me something.
Doesn't matter. Give me that
We had a
nog.
cookout eggnog milkshake that I'm pretty sure was just vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, not
but
even
you call it
close.
eggnog, it tastes better.
It does.
all
It
I'm
does.
saying.
It does.
Mental trick.
Dan's gonna do well though. He's got a week to weed off
wean off,
before the
yeah.
new year.
to
It's
go.
gonna be okay. Let's take a quick break. I can stop anytime. Dan's gonna have eggnog in his sleeve in the new year.
Is that a jar of eggnog
Can't
in your
skip eggnog o'clock.
I'm just so tired right now.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with the Wait, What, the What, the Hallmark. Here on Take the Hallmark. Can't skip lunch. We all know you're drinking eggnog.
Can't skip 9 o'clock. I don't know what you want from me.
It's time for the Wait What. We're talking about Friends and Family Christmas. Any Wait What's in the movie? Let's find out. Brian, we'll start with you. Any safes that need cracking in this movie?
No safes, Brand. Thanks for checking.
Why wasn't she better to her parents?
Dude, they were obviously hidden very well, the safes. Where they should be. We're out of sight. At their first meeting, Daniela just blindly orders the same coffee.
Yeah,
as
that's
Amelia.
being an adventurous spirit there.
That's it's reckless. I wouldn't call it I get she's adventurous.
It's reckless to you.
Holy, Bram, would you ever do that? Just blindly walk up to somebody you don't know and say, "I'll have whatever they ordered,"
and not have heard it?
Nothing. You have no information at all.
I would be the only one that would try that.
No, I can't do that.
As a regular coffee drinker, no. It's
I don't like it. I'll just get something else.
So wasteful.
Fun bit.
So wasteful. So Amelia, she got a drink of orange juice. She pulled the orange juice out of her fridge, and then she walked all the way across her kitchen to get a glass. Like, have they not heard of the kitchen work triangle? You put all your stuff in an area where it's easy. She walked so far with her orange juice to get a glass. You didn't catch this? She's
the kitchen. Brian needs a break.
The kitchen work triangle.
That's everything is conveniently located within a certain number of feet, like your fridge, your stove, your sink, so that you can easily navigate around. You don't put things that you regularly need, across the room. It's just wild. It just doesn't make any sense. As an educated person, she would definitely not do that. It's totally out of character for a Libra. I mean.
That's the first real thing you said. Now you're making sense.
And Amelia, again, maybe it's a kitchen thing.
Moon's never going to rise. You know what I mean?
Stars, so she walks the street. She's got a tray of cookies uncovered. She's just walking around with these cookies, nothing on top. Those things are going to spill all over, get all this germs all over. It's disgusting. The last one, which was just really funny to me, Daniela's photo display, which was of all of her friends and everybody within a 10-foot radius of her at any moment.
Good work triangle.
Exactly. Thank you. Was basically a classic night before the project's due assignment whip up thing. She was like, oh boy, the deadline's coming. I got to do something. Grabbed the picture she could, threw some filters on it. And then you try to sell it. You get real pumped and be like, this is something I'm so excited about when it's nothing. It's just your friends and it's nothing. So the things that she did after with the display and the technology, awesome. Her explaining, art to us, awesome. But just, I feel like the pictures were not something super crazy artistic in that.
Yeah.
That
it was
moment.
emotion in motion, Brian.
Yeah, it didn't come across for me. It was more like I ran out of time. I'm just going to use what I got real quick.
Wow.
And put it up there.
I have a few. One, this is tough because I wrote down this line. It's the first line that my least favorite character says. And I'm like, what? Why is she talking like this? And I just find out that everything she says is going to be weird in the movie. But they're like, who wants to help with the silent auction? You get to help with the silent auction. She's like, I'd love to help with the silent auction. Well, not love, more like. I'm just happy to volunteer. Calm down. What is your deal?
She literally helps none.
Then she doesn't help at all.
Yeah.
She's a big liar. The text conversation that they have about the gloves was just weird in general. They're giggling about gloves, even though the first date didn't go well. It's like, these gloves yours? And she's like, but the conversation is, these gloves yours? She responds back, look like mine, so probably. Response back, they look like mine. Oh, you texting me, weirdo?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Do you know where your gloves are? Because if not, they might be your gloves.
Could be yours.
If you do know where your gloves are, and these are not your gloves, then they're my gloves.
Yes.
This is not. Why
exactly.
are we? This is a who's on third first situation.
I don't know, third base.
Third base is a mess. There's a scene where the mom and dad are left alone, and the dad puts a weird candle in a wine bottle, and then I just found it to be weird and uncomfortable. Yeah. He's like, And then, like, I didn't know
He finished pouring the whole bottle
yes,
of wine
and then
into
put
her
the
glass,
candle.
Yeah.
and then put the candle in the bottle, and then took it with him around the island.
I gotta be honest, I didn't know if it was a weird like hanky panky thing. I didn't know what it was. It made me uncomfortable though. Last but not least, Amelia's dad is the worst
staller
staller
of all time.
in the history of the world. Gotta come up with something like, what? You what happened? You need a lawyer now? Amelia, come over here. I need your help like to talk through something. There could have been so many things to do. Instead he goes with, you need a snack? Come on, Dad. Step it up, bud.
You could have easily just hung up the phone and been like, hey, I just got this from the whatever account they're working on.
Yeah, need you to
sit down.
I know it's Christmas, but like
it's so easy to stall. But here's my thing is I'm just going to piggyback on that. Wait, what?
I'll allow it.
Are we to assume that worked?
Yeah, I guess so. I got
What
stalled
he
enough.
did,
Yeah, you're
stalled
right.
for
Yeah.
15 minutes? It looked like he stalled for maybe 40 seconds.
I think they made up for it on the back end. Like
Yeah,
they were
I
just
don't,
hurried
like-
up in the park.
He was still on the phone and he was like, hey, do you want a snack? Do you want to make plans for later? 15 minutes is up. We did it, I guess. I don't know. Here's a weird one, but go back and watch this movie. Several times in this movie, two people are alone and one of them says, can we talk somewhere in private? And then they proceed to walk 10 feet to somewhere else and then continue to speak. And both places are pretty much the same when it comes to the level of privacy. And it's like, we don't need to do this. You could just speak right now is what you could do.
Don't speak.
I do think we've talked about the parents, but not to a fine enough point to say these parents come into town, even though their daughter says she's too busy. They let themselves into her house, take over her apartment, even though they're technically staying somewhere else, and then get mad at her for not spending quality time with them. And that is, I couldn't get over that. The most intrusive, they didn't get it. Didn't get it at all. And they kind of half apologized toward the end, but that was killer. And then maybe this is not a wait what, and it's just that I've never seen it, but it's a choice. I think it's at Allie Liebert's house. It's whatever house her and her dad are in at the end of the movie. She has a Christmas tree that is almost entirely decorated with silver disco ball ornaments. So they're all disco balls. There's not like one that's a disco ball. You're like, oh, fun, a disco ball ornament. It's like, that is the motif of the tree. What if we did a disco ball ornament tree? And I thought that was a choice for this movie or really in any other movie. That's all I got.
It's time for What the Hallmark Story. Wonder what could have been. Maybe having some clarity. What still we have. Brian, what are you still wondering about? Any questions for you?
Yeah, well, she developed some pictures with film, right? She's in her black
Yes.
room. Like, is there a
Dark room.
A dark room, yeah, sure. Is there a qualitative difference in developing photos that way versus like a digital? Like, I wonder if you could tell the difference there. You print out a picture that you took with a digital camera and you develop it in your dark room, your very dark room, almost black.
Oh, dark.
Black lights, that's what I was thinking. Black lights in the dark room, right? You don't put black lights? You put some kind of lights.
no.
Right? Okay. Well, she's in a
infrared
whatever.
light.
She's developing. Is there a difference in
Brian's
what you
going to see
get?
himself out.
You know, just wondering, just thinking out loud
There
here.
is a difference
Yeah, but
between
like-
developing film in a dark room versus
I know there's a
taking
difference,
a
but could
picture
you
with
tell,
a digital camera.
looking at
a
the
photographer could tell.
An artist, maybe,
Someone that was going to buy those pictures could tell.
maybe.
Yeah,
Wonder.
The person that thinks a dark room's called a black room could not.
I
tell.
could not tell. Absolutely not.
No.
Fool me
Oh,
once.
boy. Danny has a roommate in this movie who also works at the lab, who 2, maybe 3 times has a jacket that I can't stop thinking about. Various jackets, an amazing ensemble, and really I just want to know, where'd you get it?
Where'd you get it?
Can I have it? Could you send it over? Are you done with it? Gimme. Dano?
Brian, you mentioned this.
The safe. The safe.
You good in your hot take a bit, but this parade of different events to raise money for the photo lab. What is it? And is it historically, has it been successful? I think if it's to all raise money, why isn't it one big event? Which you asked earlier, but I want to know the history of this. Like, why so many events? Is it something that has historically been pretty successful financially for the Photo Lab? Could they pare it down? Could they reconsider how they go about it? Because it seems like just to give one intern all of this work to do seems like it's just unfair and unnecessary. So that's all I got.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This is a good movie. Lots happens. Any fights? Vic Webster tells us. Now.
Fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Was the fighting in the movie? Did someone get hurt? It's a fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Vic Webster.
How do you spell action? Z-E-R-O.
A fighting chance with Vic Webster. Vic Webster.
Nailed it, Vic.
Merry Christmas to him. Merry
One more
Christmas to him.
left.
One more left.
Plus the 2 Hallmark movies now. Movies.
Sure. of
Yes.
course.
So 3 more left.
3 more left.
Yeah. Dan and I will definitely be back tomorrow
You betcha.
for a Deck
I'm
the
a
Lifetime
hundo,
on
man.
Quartz. But this is the last Deck the Hallmark before Christmas, which means one thing.
It does.
Sir, I want to buy these shoes for my mama, please. It's Christmas Eve and these shoes are just her size. Could you hurry, sir? Daddy says there's not much time. You see, she's been sick for quite a while, and I know the shoes will make her smile, and I want her to look beautiful if mama meets Jesus. I know I saw the hands of heaven's eyes as he dared and ran out. I knew that God had sent that little boy to remind me what Christmas is all about. So I want to buy these shoes for my mama, please. It's Christmas Eve and these shoes are just her size. Ba-da-da-da, could you hurry, sir? Daddy says there's not much time. You see, she's been sick for quite a while, and I know the shoes will make her smile, and I want her to look beautiful if mama meets Jesus tonight. Want her to look beautiful if mama meets Jesus tonight. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.